There we go. So we've started the record. So again, if you feel comfortable just turning off your screen, go ahead and do that as you wish. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of an introduction about a good place therapy and also Christina. So AGP, a good place therapy, we are a bicoastal private practice. We offer psychotherapy for adults, couples, children, teens, families, and we have offices in downtown Manhattan in the Tribeca area and San Francisco and Palo Alto. Christina actually is based in our Palo Alto office, and she really heads up that office. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Um, we have a whole bunch of therapists on both coasts. Our therapists implement evidence-based practice modalities. We have over 20 licensed therapists. They treat a range of issues from anxiety, grief, loss, trauma, depression, eating disorders. We also serve various communities, whether it's premarital and couple counseling, children, adolescents, teens, um, the LGBTQIA plus community. So we have a real good group of therapists who work on um, on really everything. We currently see in in all three locations, clients virtually and in person. And the way that this community series started was really during COVID when we saw that folks were really online more, and we wanted to provide a way for people to kind of get together and showcase our therapists' specialties. So this is really a project that we've now had for several years, and every month we try to put on a free event that's hosted and led by a therapist, and they really get to choose what they're passionate about and what they love to teach about. And so we're really lucky to have Christina work with us today on breathwork. This is something that she is like known in our practice as the expert on. Um, so I'm going to get a little bit now into Christina's specialties. She focuses on really a slew of topics. She works with clients on anxiety, depression, trauma recovery, self-esteem, love, dating, um, substance abuse and addiction, relationships, ADHD. She's an LGBTQ affirming therapist as well. And through her passion for yoga, she's really discovered a love for somatics. She incorporates breathing techniques and mindfulness-based stress reduction techniques as a part of her approach to treating anxiety and really helping her clients. Um, just even speaking with Christina is so soothing. As you guys will hear, her voice is just gold. So we will get started. I just want to make one more note. Um, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and we will get to them, I think, toward the end so that we're not going back and forth on questions and breath work. So again, if you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll kick it off to Christina.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Daniela. That was a really lovely introduction. And I already feel myself getting getting calmer, moving into things. I'm really thrilled to be present with you all here tonight and to welcome you to A Good Place Online. Um, I'm really honored that you all choose to spend your time here because I know there's a lot of different things, a lot of different options, and it's very meaningful that you chose to spend this time together this evening. I am sitting here for once I'm on the couch in the Palo Alto office tonight. And what I want to do is provide you with some effective breathing techniques to aid you in reducing your bodily experience of anxiety. So we are going to have a couple of different portions of this class. I'm going to give you a little bit of information first, and then we're going to be moving into breath work. So if you don't already have a box of tissues or perhaps a glass of water nearby, you may want to prepare that for yourselves. Because sometimes if you're doing breath work, your nose can run a little. I want you to be able to take good care. So to give you just a little bit of background on me, as Daniela had mentioned, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist here in California, and I have a master's degree in somatic psychology. I decided to study somatics because of my enduring passion for yoga. I've been practicing yoga since 1998, which is quite a while. And um, In 2009, I completed a 200-hour yoga teacher training to sort of round out the hundreds, if not thousands, of hours that I had spent in workshops and classes. I've also completed college level courses in anatomy and physiology. And long story short, I've learned a lot about the form and function of the human body and ways to use our innate physical body processes to manage our mental and emotional states. And I created this workshop because this is information that I give people regularly as part of my work here as a therapist. And I want to ensure that people have good tools to work with. So, as a somaticist, I work with the body as a tool to aid in healing. And I wanted to put all of these tools in one easy to locate place, which is why we're recording, so that it's very simple to access them when you need them the most. My hope is that one or more of these techniques work so well for you that you find yourself drawn to using it again and again. Because the more we use something, the more we practice something, it becomes more readily accessible when we really need it. We mentioned somatics a couple of times, so I feel like I owe you all a definition. Somatics is a holistic approach to psychology. For something to be somatic means that it's in or of the body. The Greek word for body is soma. Somatics acknowledges the body as a container for a whole system that includes the brain and therefore the mind. Our bodies are the seat of our consciousness and the vehicle for our sensory experiences. We're constantly gathering data about our surroundings through our sensory systems, and then we use that data as information for decision making. One way of thinking about somatics is that it can be an exploration of the intersection between the psychological and the physiological. So, for example, which came first? Do you hold your breath because you're anxious? Or do you become more anxious because you're holding your breath? I don't view our mental health as being separate from our physical health, and we can use our bodies to aid in maintaining our mental health and regulating our emotions. For example, there's been numerous studies that have come out that show that physical movement and exercise can be really helpful in decreasing people's experience of both anxiety and depression. And that's an evidence-based example of somatics in action. So before we move into breath work, I want to give you some insight as to why breath work is so effective. And in order to do so, we need to understand our nervous systems. Our objective in using breath is to shift the state of our autonomic nervous system. Like most of our body functions, our autonomic nervous system is divided into two branches that work in opposite and complementary ways to balance each other. So we have our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system. Indicate the sympathetic nervous system because that's the body's accelerator. When we detect a threat in our environment, and this can be a physical threat like a mountain lion on a hiking trail, or an existential threat like an audit by the IRS, our bodies will go into fight or flight mode. What that means is that our bodies are gearing us up to get out of a tight spot. Our pupils dilate to better see the environment around us. Our heart rate goes up. Our livers reduce glucose to increase muscle fuel. We get a boost of stress hormones like cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine from our adrenal glands. Blood leaves our digestive tract and gets redirected to the large muscles of our legs to prepare us to either fight or run away. And our sympathetic nervous system is activated on the inhale. And the breath pattern for that is hyperventilation. That's often why you'll see athletes before they're going to take a race or go on a big run, they'll hyperventilate a little to get themselves going. To balance that, we have the parasympathetic nervous system, and that's the body's braking system. When we're feeling safe and secure in our surroundings, our bodies will go into rest and digest mode. Our digestive system goes to work, our adrenal glands take a break, our muscles relax, and our heart rate slows down. When when we are relaxed, that is when our body can start the work of repair and healing. Our parasympathetic nervous system is activated by the exhale. So if you imagine someone in a deep sleep, if you've ever been around anyone who snores, you have a pretty good idea of how a long exhale can signal deep relaxation. So all of the breathing techniques that I've prepared for you tonight are methods to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So where you are right now, I invite you to take a moment of observation. Without changing anything that you're currently doing, get curious about your breath. So just take a moment to turn your attention to how you are breathing in this present moment. Answer these questions for yourself internally. How would you describe your breathing right now? Where do you feel your breath in your chest? How much of your lung capacity are you currently allowing yourself to use? So just take a little mental snapshot, and we'll refer back to that later. So we're going to be moving into the more experiential portion of our time together. So make yourself comfortable. And if anything that I suggest doesn't work for your body at this time, please relax and listen, and perhaps follow along when we shift to a different exercise. And yeah, let's ensure that everybody has access to all the space that your torso has to offer. You might want to sit a little more upright. And if it's comfortable for you, let's take a stretch. You can interlace your hands, turn them inside out, bring your arms up overhead, imagining yourself lengthening through the sides of your torso. Give yourself a little bit of movement, lifting up through the right and lifting up through the left. And I'll mirror you. So I'm going to go over to the left to get a little bit of a stretch. And then we'll go over to the right side to get a little bit of a stretch over to the right. And then coming back to center. So first off, we're going to talk about using your diaphragm to breathe, diaphragmatic breath. The diaphragm is an internal muscle in our torsos that runs horizontally underneath our lungs. It's a dome-shaped muscle that's connected to the lowermost ribs. So it's not something you can actually see like your biceps on your arm, but we can feel its action when we breathe deeply and fill our lungs to capacity. So let's see, I'm going to move the camera down a little bit. So just try bringing your hands along your rib cage. Say hello to your torso, give yourself a little hug. And rest the palms of your hands along your ribs. You can align your fingers so that your middle fingers are touching right at your sternum, which is the point where your ribs meet in the center of your body. So next, take a breath that is big enough that you can feel the movement of your ribs underneath your hands. So taking a big inhale, feeling your fingers spread apart, and then exhaling. So that sensation of your ribs spreading apart is the work of the diaphragm contracting to make more space in your chest for your lungs to fill with breath. So let's take a few more breaths together here, and you can keep your hands on your rib cage so that you can feel the wing-like action of your ribs, separating as you inhale, and then settling back in together as you exhale. Let's try visualizing the pathway of your breath. Allow your eyes to focus on one spot that isn't moving, or you can close your eyes if that feels more comfortable for you. As you feel your ribs expanding, imagine the action of your lungs expanding internally. We're going to use our breath to fill from the very bottom of the ribs into the middle of the rib cage, all the way up to your collarbones. And then as you exhale, feeling that reverse, receding down from your collarbones to the middle of your ribs and empty at the bottom of your lungs. We'll try that together a few more times. Inhaling, filling at the bottom, rising mid-chest, all the way to your collarbones. Exhaling out, away from the collarbones, down through the middle, empty at the bottom. All right. So we're going to move into some more tools and techniques. And for the most part, I want to encourage you to breathe through your nose with a gently closed mouth. So our nostrils are evolved to act as a natural filtration system. And there was a recent book, Breath by James Nestor. He wrote exhaustively about the benefit of breathing through your nostrils rather than your mouth. However, if you're congested, you can always use your mouth. Work with what's most comfortable for you now. Please take a moment to gently close your lips and rest the tip of your tongue on the back of your two front teeth, right at the point where your teeth meet the roof of your mouth. You can allow for a little space in between your teeth to let your jaw relax. And throughout these next 4 exercises, I will guide you through 10 to 12 cycles of breath. And a cycle of breath is an inhalation and an exhalation. Our first technique is even breath. And it's just like the title says, we're going to be allowing the same amount of time for an inhale and an exhale. This is a great way to get yourself out of a moment of stress because we're going to be gradually lengthening the breath, which allows us to ease into our parasympathetic nervous system. I'm going to start us out with a count of 2. We're going to extend it out to a count of 3, and then finish off with a count of 4. We'll be doing 12 cycles of breath total. I'm going to be cueing you and keeping track of the counts and time. And all you have to do at this point is just follow along and breathe. So here we go. Please complete your last exhale. And now we'll inhale, 2, exhale, 2. Inhale, 2, exhale, 2. Inhale, 2, exhale, 2. Inhale, 2, exhale, adding on. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Adding on. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 And release. Just allowing your body to breathe more automatically. And take a moment to notice. Taking a mental snapshot of where you are now. And maybe comparing it to the mental snapshot that we took earlier. All right. We're going to move into relaxation breath. This is a little different in that this time we're going to have a longer exhale. We're going to breathe in such a way that our exhale is twice as long as our inhale. This is a breath that mimics deep sleep, and you can use it to induce relaxation whenever you need it when you're awake. So this time we'll start with a 2-count inhale and a 4-count exhale, increase to 3 and 6, and finish up with 4 and 8. We'll be doing 12 cycles of breath total. And again, I'll guide you through. I'll keep track. All you got to do is breathe. So please complete your exhale. And here we go. Inhale, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, X, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, X, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, X, 2, 3, 4. Adding on. In, 2, 3, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adding on. In, 2, 3, 4, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Just letting your body do what it does naturally now. And taking another moment to notice. Sensing into the center of your chest. And we'll move along. For the next 2 techniques, we're going to experiment a little bit with breath holds. The next technique we'll do together is square breathing or box breathing. It's the same concept as even breath, except this time we're going to be having a hold on the inhale as well as a hold on the exhale. This technique is a good stress reliever once you get the feel for really filling and stretching your lung capacity. And there's an added benefit in that you can visualize a square or a box as you breathe. Imagine that each part of the breath cycle forms a side of the square. So we're going to be inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, holding empty for 4 counts. So I'll guide you through 10 cycles. So please finish your exhale. And here we go. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, empty, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. Last round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Empty, 2, 3, 4. And release. Whew. Taking time for another little mental snapshot. Noticing if anything has shifted or changed for you over the course of those 10 breaths. And we will move into our final technique for the evening, which is a classic pranayama technique from yoga, and that is alternate nostril breathing. This incorporates a couple of added benefits in that we're going to be applying some gentle pressure on an anxiety reducing acupressure point, which is right in the center of your forehead in between your eyebrows. And in also focusing on the physical opening and closing of your nostrils, it serves as a little bit of a distraction. I had one of my teachers describe this to me as being a drop and roll technique, that if you're feeling acutely anxious, you can use alternate nostril breathing to get yourself into a more relaxed state. So what we're going to do is, if you would please use your dominant hand, we'll do the old live long and prosper. If you place your index and middle fingers in the center of your forehead, we're going to be using our ring fingers and thumb to toggle back and forth between our nostrils to toggle them open and closed. So I'm going to be guiding you through 6 cycles of breath this time. And please start by breathing in through both nostrils. We're going to close left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right. 2, 3, 4. Last round. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Close right, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close left, exhale right. 2, 3, 4. And release. And again, shifting into a moment of self-observation and just noticing where you started and where you're at now. So perhaps you can try some of these techniques during moments of low stakes stress, when you're waiting in line somewhere, or one of my personal favorites is to use relaxation breath when you're driving. So the next time you find yourself on the 880, or maybe if you're waiting to cross the Bay Bridge, you can try breathing along to some of your favorite music. Most pop music or Western music from Western Europe comes in counts of 4. So you can put on one of your favorite tunes and practice breathing in for 4 and exhaling for 8, and see how that changes your experience of sitting in traffic. So I see Daniela, you're back up. So we're open for questions now if there's anything that anybody dropped into the chat.
Let's take a look. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And for those interested, you can come back on the screen. We have
How do
one.
you
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I see that. How do you remember to use them when you need them? Part of it is practicing. As I mentioned, if you're doing something like sitting in traffic or just in a lower stakes kind of situation, ideally we will have some of this available on YouTube at a future time. And if you take a moment, when you're not feeling super stressed out, to just remind yourself, hey, I can use my breath, or practicing in a lower stakes kind of situation. The more you practice something, the more accessible it becomes. Yeah, I see her. The square breathing, holding empty makes me feel uncomfortable. Does that get better with practice? It can. One of the reasons I chose to start with using just even breath and relaxation breath is because the breath holds can be a little uncomfortable. So one of the things that you can also try doing is trying square breathing with a shorter interval. So maybe breathing in for 2, holding for 2, exhaling for 2, and holding for 2. Because again, sometimes holding your breath can be a little anxiety promoting. And if that one doesn't work for you, just try doing the ones where you're breathing in and out at a more even pace. All right. Are there any resources, books, online programs, etc., that I recommend for future study? Um, that's what I'm going to need to think about. I know that there's a lot of different yoga teachers online who teach pranayama. One of my personal favorite resources is glow.com. When I study online, I study with Elena Brower. She is an excellent yoga teacher. And one of the things that I like about Glow is that they have a lot of different resources on that app. And they do have some breath work available there as well. It's glo.com. What are your thoughts on incorporating internal mantras or affirmations into the breathing? Go for it. Internal mantras or affirmations are great, because then that's another it's another form of shifting your thoughts. I think a lot of times in cognitive behavioral therapy, we talk about doing things like thought stopping or shifting away from thoughts. So, using a mantra, now I'm inhaling, now I'm exhaling, or gosh, whatever favorite mantra you want to use, add it in. More is more, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Let's see. How do you recommend implementing breathing for a wind down nighttime routine versus the morning wake up routine? Um, hmm. A morning a morning wake up routine, I think, would be kind of a more vigorous breath. There is a pranayama technique called breath of fire, which is basically like hyperventilation. And that's something that can really wake you up, as opposed to doing something like relaxation breath, which is something that could help you to wind down. And let's see, is there a scientific or physiological reason behind the alternate nostril breathing? In in yogic thought, there's two channels to the body, the right side and the left side of the body. And that also kind of bears out into the fact that we have two hemispheres to the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. So the idea between alternate nostril breathing is creating balance between both hemispheres of the brain and both main channels of energy through the body. It's my understanding of that. All right. Yeah. So, again, if there's anything else, I'm really thrilled that so many people showed up tonight. I hope that you're all feeling more relaxed and comfortable. And I hope you're inspired to practice one or more of these techniques and, incorporate it into something that you can use as a tool for yourself.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Yeah, well, thank you all for your attention tonight. And I hope that you all take care and rest well.
We have one question. Where can we see the recordings? So I
Mhm.
will process the recording and it will be posted on our website on Monday. And also, I will email it out to everyone on the list of people everyone who registered. I will send it out to you. And I'll also include any additional resources that Christina wants to share as well. And if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to email Christina. Her email is christina@agoodplacetherapy.com.
I'll answer them as I can. All right. Thank you all so much for your kind attention.
Thank you.
Bye.